The Rape of the Lock Canto 2 by Alexander Pope. Not with more glories, in ethereal plain, the sun first rises o'er the purpled main, then, issuing forth, the rival of his beams launched on the bosom of the silver Thames. Fair nymphs, and well-dressed youths around her shone, but every eye was fixed on her alone. On her white breast a sparkling cross she wore, which Jews might kiss, and infidels adore. Her lively looks a sprightly mind disclose, quick as her eyes, and as unfixed as those, favours to none, to all she smiles extends, oft she rejects, but never once offends. Bright as the sun, her eyes the gazers strike, and, like the sun, they shine on all alike. Yet graceful ease, and sweetness void might hide her faults, if bells had faults to hide. If to her share some female errors fall, look on her face, and you'll forget them all. This nymph, to the destruction of mankind, nourished 2 locks, which graceful hung behind in equal curls, and welcome spurred to deck with shining ringlets the smooth 4-ry neck. Love in these labyrinths his slaves detains, and mighty hearts are held in slender chains. With hairy springes we the birds betray, slight lines of hair surprise the finny prey, fair tresses man's imperial race ensnare, and beauty draws us with a single hair. Advent rouse barren the bright locks admired, he saw, he wished, and to the prize aspurred. Resolved to win, he meditates the way, by force to ravish, or by fraud betray, for when success a lover's toil attends, few ask, if fraud or force attained his ends. For this, Phoebus rose, he had implored propitious heaven, and everypowr aided, but chiefly love, to love an altar built of 12 vast French romances, neatly gilt. There lay 3 garters, half a pair of gloves, and all the trophies of his former loves. With tender billet doux he lights the pyre, and breathes 3 roused sighs to raise the fire. Then prostrate falls, and begs with ardent eye soon to obtain, and long possess the prize. The POWRS gave ear, and granted half his prayer, the rest, the winds dispersed in empty air. But now secure the painted vessel glides, the sunbeams trembling on the floating tides, while melting music steals upon the sky, and softened sounds along the waters die. Smooth flow the waves, the zephyrs gently play, Belinda smiled, and all the world was gay. All but the sylph, with careful thoughts oppressed, impending woe sat heavy on his breast. He summons straight his denizens of air, the lucid squadrons round the sails repair, soft o'er the shrouds aerial whispers breathe. That seemed but zephyrs to the train beneath. Some to the sun their insect wings unfold, waft on the breeze, or sink in clouds of gold. Transparent forms, too fine for mortal sight, their fluid bodies half dissolved in light, loose to the wind their airy garments flew, thin glittering textures of the filmy dew, dipped in the richest tincture of the skies, where light disports in ever-mingling dyes, while every beam new transient colours flings, colours that change whene'er they wave their wings. Amid the circle, on the gilded mast, superior by the head, was Ariel placked, his purple pinions opening to the sun, he rayed his azure wand, and thus begun. Ye sylphs and sylphids, to your chief give ear. Fays, fairies, genii, elves, and daimons, hear. Ye know the spheres and various tasks assigned by laws eternal to aerial kind. Some in the fields of purest ether play, and bask and whiten in the blaze of day. Some guide the course of wandering orbs on high, or roll the planets through the boundless sky. Some less refined, beneath the moon's pale light pursue the stars that shoot athwart the night, or suck the mists in grosser air below, or dip their pinions in the painted bow, or brew fierce tempests on the wintry main, or o'er the glebe distill the kindly rain. Others on earth our human race preside, watch all their ways, and all their actions guide. Of these the chief the care of nations own, and guard with arms divine the British throne. Our humbler province is to tend a fair, not a less pleasing, though less glorious care. To save the powder from too rude a gale, nor let imprisoned essences exhale, to draw fresh colours from the vernal flow to steal from rainbows ere they drop in show a brighter wash, to curl their waving hairs, assist their blushes, and inspire their airs. Nay oft, in dreams, invention we bestow, to change a flounce, or add a fur below. This day, black omens threat the brightest fair that e'er deserved a watchful spirit's care, some dire disaster, or by force, or sleight, but what, or where, the fates have wrapped in night. Whether the nymph shall break Diana's law, or some frail china jar receive a flaw, or stain her honor, or her new brocade, forget her prayers, or miss a masquerade, or lose her heart, or necklace, at a ball, or whether he then has doomed that shock must fall. Haste, then, ye spirits! To your charge repair, the fluttering fan be Zephyretta's care, the drops to thee, Brillanti, we consign, and, Momentilla, let the watch be thine, do thou, Crispissa, tend her favourite lock, Ariel himself shall be the guard of shock. To 50 chosen sylphs, of special note. We trust important charge, the petticoat, oft have we known that sevenfold fence to fail, though stiff with hoops, and armed with ribs of whale. Form a strong line about the silver bound, and guard the wide circumference around. Whatever spirit, careless of his charge, his post neglects, or leaves the fair at large, shall feel sharp vengeance soon o'ertake his sins, be stopped in vials, or transfixed with pins, or plunged in lakes of bitter washes lie, or wedged whole ages in a bodkin's eye, gums and pomatums shall his flight restrain, while clogged he beats his silken wings in vain, or alum styptics with contracting POWR shrink his thin essence like a revelled flower. Or, as iction fixed, the wretch shall feel the giddy motion of the whirling mill, in fumes of burning chocolate shall glow, and tremble at the sea that froths below. He spoke, the spirits from the sails descend, some, orb in orb, around the nymph extend, some thrid the mazy ringlets of her hair, some hang upon the pendants of her ear, with beating hearts the dire event they wait, anxious, and trembling for the birth of fate. The rape of the Lock, Canto 3 close by those meads, forever crowned with flowers, where Thames with pride surveys his rising towers, there stands a structure of majestic frame, which from the neighbouring Hampton takes its name. Here Britain's statesmen oft the fall foredoom of foreign tyrants and of nymphs at home, hear thou, great Anna, whom 3 realms obey, dost sometimes counsel take, and sometimes tea. Hither the heroes and the nymphs resort, to taste awhile the pleasures of a court, in various talk instructive hours they passed, who gave the ball, or paid the visit last. One speaks the glory of the British Queen, and one describes a charming Indian screen, a third interprets motions, looks, and eyes, at every word a reputation dies. Snuff, or the fan, supply each pause of chat, with singing, laughing, ogling, and all that. Meanwhile, declining from the noon of day, the sun obliquely shoots his burning ray, the hungry judges soon the sentence sign, and wretches hang that jurymen may dine, the merchant from exchange returns in peace, and the long labours of the toilet cease. Belinda now, whom thirst of fame invites, burns to encounter 2 adventurous knights, at Omber singly to decide their doom, and swells her breast with conquests yet to come. Straight the 3 bands prepare in arms to join, each band the number of the sacred 9. Soon as she spreads her hand, Ariel guard descend, and sit on each important card. First Ariel perched upon a matador, then each, according to the rank they bore, for sylphs, yet mindful of their ancient race, are, as when women, wondrous fond of place. Behold, 4 kings in majesty revered, with hoary whiskers and a forky beard, and 4 fair queens whose hands sustain a flower, expressive emblem of their softer POWR, 4 knaves in garb succinct, a trusty band, caps on their heads, and halberds in their hand, and party-coloured troops, a shining train, draw forth to combat on the velvet plain. The skilful nymph reviews her force with care, let spades be trumps, she said, and trumps they were. Now move to war her sable matadors, in show like leaders of the swarthy Moors. Spadillo first, unconquerable lord, led off 2 captive trumps, and swept the board. As many more Manilio forked to yield, and marched to victor from the verdant field. Him Basto followed, but his fate more hard gained but 1 trump and 1 plebeian card. With his broad sabre next, a chief in years, the hoary majesty of spades appears, puts forth 1 manly leg, to sight revealed, the rest, his many-coloured robe concealed. The rebel knave, who dares his prince engage, proves the just victim of his royal rage. Even mighty Pam, that kings and queens o'erthrew and mowed down armies in the fights of Lu, sad chance of war. Now destitute of aid, falls undistinguished by the victor's spade. Thus far both armies to Belinda yield, now to the barren fate inclines the field. His warlike Amazon her host invades, imperial consort of the crown of spades. The club's black tyrant first her victim died, spite of his haughty mien and barbrow's pride. What boots the regal circle on his head, his giant limbs, in state unwieldy spread, that long behind he trails his pompous robe, and of all monarchs, only grasps the globe. The baron now his diamonds pours apace, embroidered king who shows but half his face, and his refulgent queen, with POWRS combined of broken troops and easy conquest find. Clubs, diamonds, hearts, in wild disorder seen, with throngs promiscuous strow the level green. Thus when dispersed a routed army runs, of Asia's troops and Afric's sable sons, with like confusion different rent nations fly, of various habit, and of various dye, the picked battalions disunited fall. In heaps on heaps, one fate o'erwhelms them all. The knave of diamonds tries his wily arts, and wins, oh shameful chance, the queen of hearts. At this, the blood the virgin's cheek forsook. A livid paleness spreads o'er all her look, she sees, and trembles at approaching ill, just in the jaws of ruin, and Codil. And now, as oft in some distempered state, on one nice trick depends the general fate. An ace of hearts steps forth, the king unseen lurked in her hand, and mourned his captive queen, he springs to vengeance with an eager pace, and falls like thunder on the prostrate ace. The nymph exulting fills with shouts the sky, the walls, the woods, and long canals reply. O thoughtless mortals! Ever blind to fate, too soon dejected, and too soon elate. Sudden, these honours shall be snatched away, and cursed for ever this victorious day. For lo! The board with cups and spoons is crowned, the berries crackle, and the mill turns round. On shining altars of Japan they raise the silver lamp, the fiery spirits blaze. From silver spouts the grateful liquors glide, while China's earth receives the smoking tide. At once they gratify their scent and taste, and frequent cups prolong the rich repast. Straight hover round the fair her airy band, some, as she sipped, the fuming liquor fanned, some o'er her lap their careful plumes displayed, trembling, unconscious of the rich brocade. Coffee, which makes the politician wise, and see through all things with his half-shut eyes, sent up in vapours to the baron's brain new stratagems, the radiant Lock to gain. Ah cease, rash youth! Desist ere 'tis too late, fear the just gods, and think of Scylla's fate. Charmed to a bird, and sent to flit in air, she dearly pays for Nisus' injured hair. But when to mischief mortals bend their will, how soon they find fit instruments of ill. Just then, Clarissa drew with tempting grace a two-edged weapon from her shining case. So ladies in romance assist their knight present the spear, and arm him for the fight. He takes the gift with reverence, and extends the little engine on his fingers' ends, this just behind Belinda's neck he spread, as o'er the fragrant steams she bends her head. Swift to the lock 1,000 sprites repair, 1,000 wings, by turns, blow back the hair, and thrice they twitched the diamond in her ear, thrice she looked back, and thrice the foe drew near. Just in that instant, anxious Ariel sought the close recesses of the virgin's thought, as on the nosegay in her breast reclined, he watched ideas rising in her mind, sudden he viewed, in spite of all her art, an earthly lover lurking at her heart. Amazed, confessed, he found his POWR expert, resigned to fate, and with a sigh returned. The pier now spreads the glittering forefex wide, includes the lock, now joins it, to divide. Even then, before the fatal engine closed, a wretched sylph too fondly interposed, fate irked the shears, and cut the sylph in twain, but airy substance soon unites again. The meeting points the sacred hair dissever from the fair head, forever, and forever. Then flashed the living lightning from her eyes, and screams of horror rent affrighted skies. Not louder shrieks to pitying then are cast, when husbands or when lapdogs breathe their last, or when rich china vessels, fallen from high, in glittering dust and painted fragments lie. Let wreaths of triumph now my temples twine, the victor cried, the glorious prize is mine. While fish in streams, or birds delight in air, or in a coach and six the British fair, as long at Atalantis shall be read, or the small pillow grace a lady's bed, while visits shall be paid on solemn days. When numb-rouse wax lights in bright order blaze, while nymphs take treats, or assignations give, so long my honour, name, and praise shall live. What time would spare, from steel receives its date, and monuments, like men, submit to fate. Steel could the labour of the gods destroy, and strike to dust imperial Toaris of Troy, steel could the works of mortal pride confound, and hew triumphal arches to the ground. What wonder then, fair nymph? Thy hair should feel the conquering force of unresisted steel?